Welcome to the channel, guys. Replacing spark plugs on a motor with headers. Obviously some of them get to be really bad where you cannot fit a socket on them to remove the plugs. Kind of like this plug on this 350, the center plug. You cannot get a socket on it. You can't get a wrench on it really because it kind of recesses in to the head. So the solution is to get a shorter spark plug socket. They do make them. I'll leave a link in the description for them. They're not too bad. $20-$30 you can get them. Otherwise, if you are in a pinch, you can make it yourself. So I made my own here, and it's fairly easy to do. You do have to sacrifice a socket. So what you want to look for in a socket to make one, obviously it has to have the hex head on top of it. That's how you're going to drive the socket. Another thing you want to make sure before you sacrifice a socket is make sure that hex head goes all the way through to this end here. For instance, this snap-on one does not have that. This is obviously being a spark plug socket. It just has the hex on the end of it, and the rest of it's just a round tube. So that won't work. If we were to cut this, it still wouldn't work for us. And you don't want a socket without a hex head on this end. There's nothing to drive. And this one's kind of the same way. This has the hex head just on the end of it, and that won't work either. So I took this socket here, and you can see that has the hex head all the way through, at least up to about here. And this is the portion I cut off of it. This was the end. So I cut about an inch off of it. I left 1.5 inches of socket. So what this does, obviously that makes the socket much shorter. Another thing you need to do is drill this end of it. So you're taking that where the ratchet fits, you're just hogging that out. The reason for that is so the spark plug can just fit through just like that. To cut it, it's not a big deal. You can take, here's what I did, just a cut off wheel, and I was easily able to chop right through that socket. Now to make this hole bigger on this end, or to drill that out, I tried using a step drill. That kind of started it going, but it kind of dulled out my bit and didn't want to go any further. So what I ended up using was this stone wheel on the end of a drill. And that was perfect. I was able to grind all the way through it, and that made a perfect circle that I needed for the spark plug to fit through. And you can always test it this way, and that pretty much did the trick. Now what that allows you to do, I could not get a regular socket on it, so our modified socket here will go right through it, and you can see the spark plug sticking out. And then you're able to take your wrench, put that right on the end of it, and you can loosen it, tighten it, whatever you need to do, and that creates clearance for that. And this will pretty much work for all the plugs on this motor. Depending on what you're working on, you might need to make it shorter. Also, sometimes your plugs are so long there's not even a clearance for one of these to go on. Sometimes you have to cut a notch on the side of it. So you just take a grinder and cut one notch. You're able to kind of sideways fit it onto a plug and then get it fully on. You can always do that too. But again, these are, you can buy them ready to go like this for $15 to $30. It's not too bad. Some of them even come with a wrench on the end of it, or a ratcheting wrench with it. But if you're in a pinch and can't wait, you can always make your own like I did. Not too hard to do. Thank you for watching.